Say, guys.
Hey.
Hi, Coach.
Keith, you doing all right?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Just, I guess I could recap that game real quick, and then we'll get some questions. But I felt going into that game, playing the caliber team that we were playing, that we had to be the best team on the field that day in all three phases. I think after watching the tape, it was pretty evident that we were. I felt offensively that those guys up front just did a tremendous job of getting in. It had 0 sacks and protected the quarterback well, ran for over 228 plus yards, whatever that was. And then Grant, I thought as a young player to go out and have a little adversity there early on in that type of game, came back and played really well. So just proud of the offense, the way they played. Defensively, Brad and JC and those guys just did such a tremendous job. That team had rushed for over 200 and some yards per game for like almost 6 straight years, with the exception of once or twice. And to hold those guys to, less than 100 yards rushing, I felt going in, that's where it started. They'd averaged like 200 plus yards per game for almost 6 years. And if you can stop the run, you got a shot. And I thought our guys did a good job of for the most part, getting those receivers covered as well. And then special teams, we just dominated the entire special team part of it. So anytime you can play as a team like that, you got a shot at beating anybody you line up and play. So we got to work hard. It's kind of an unusual deal right now where, I've called all over the country, and there's not a blueprint for what the hell you do for 3 weeks before you play again. It's tough. We've had 2 games in almost 7 weeks, and by the time we line up against Western Kentucky, so we're trying to, do the best job we can of keeping our guys, fresh at the same time, keeping them sharp and physical, the physical conditioning part of it and all that. So we think we got a great plan. We'll start back tomorrow and start to work that plan and keep these guys going in the right direction. I like this team a lot. I like the leadership on it. I like to think the players are taking ownership in the team, and it needs to continue.
Doc, have you gotten any indication at all that there may be a game, on that October 3rd weekend? I know Mike's trying. Obviously.
Yeah, we're all trying. I mean, every time something pops up, somebody's playing, we sure give them a call. So, that being said, I'd love to have a game on the 3rd. Because I'm concerned about the 3 week, prior to playing, Western Kentucky. So I'd love to get one. Just things change every day, Keith. There's going to be some games canceled this weekend, probably before it's all said and done. And so, hopefully we can find out something soon enough so we could get it turned around to where we could play on the 26th if that happens. But right now we're just preparing like we don't have a game, and then hopefully if one pops up, then we'll quickly go in a different direction.
When you look at all your victories as a coach here at Marshall and you have a chance to reflect back on that App State game, where would you rank that one in terms of your all-time favorite wins?
Well, anytime you beat a really good football team, it's one of the all-time favorites. We've had some really good wins, and that one ranks right up there. I don't know. I mean, I haven't looked back. I mean, right now I'm just trying to focus on getting better as a team. But I think that's got to, anytime you beat a team of that caliber, that's it has a number. That entire team was just about back from a year ago. Offensively, a lot of players back on defense. So anytime you can play as well as we played against that caliber team, and come out of there with the win. And the great thing is that may be, I guess if I look at it a little bit different than maybe you're asking the question, it may be one of the best total team efforts that we've had, since I've been here. Now, where it ranks, I don't know. That we'll worry about that down the road. But as far as a total team effort, it had to rank right up there with about any of them.
Hey, Doc, how long are you going to be – do you think you'll be able to use a win of that caliber to keep these guys' energy up, to keep their mental acuity up throughout what could be a 3-week hiatus?
Well, I think, and I've said many times, and I think the critical thing right now is the leadership is so important on this football team, and how important this team is to our players and all those things. And, when you're getting involved in situations like we're involved in right now with the time period and all that, I mean, we're dealing with the virus. We're just dealing with so many things right now that, what you'd like to be able to do is tell these kids to go home for the weekend or 3 or 4 days and come back and we'll start over, but you can't do that. I mean, you can't do that. Number one, they'd have to quarantine for 13 or 14 days when they get back. And so it's a tough situation, but that being said, I think the leadership on this team will have to take this team over and, these guys have one goal, and that goal is to, continue to get better as a team. And so we got to do whatever it takes to get that done.
And what you have to worry about in keeping sharp throughout a long layoff like this is the mental part the most crucial? Because, I mean, physically, you can give these guys a little bit of rest and heal some banged up guys. Is it trying to keep just kind of the mind sharp and in tune and everyone focused?
I think it's all the above. I think the mental part of it's part of it, but I think also the physical. I mean, to play football, you got to play the game. I mean, you've got to block and tackle, and there's a fine line there of how much, as far as the physical part of it, you actually do. But I think, and I mentioned before, you saw that first Navy BYU game. I mean, if you don't play the game and practice and go out and play the game of football the way it's supposed to get played, you're not going to get it on Saturdays. So it is a fine line of keeping them fresh, the mental part of it as well as the physical part of it, and continuing to play the game the way you're supposed to play the game, so you can actually get on Saturdays and get the results you want.
Doc, you talked last week about having that opportunity on national TV, network television, and obviously it's a great showcase. You end up in the top 25. But your point was, you have the opportunity, now you got to seize it. How proud of you are that you guys seize the opportunity and you reap some rewards because of it?
Well, that's what opportunities are all about. I mean, a lot of people get opportunities, to have a, whatever that opportunity is, it's special, and that was one of them for us. But the critical thing is you take that opportunity and you make the best of it, which is what our team did. And you know what, I guess, Keith, looking, now, if you think about it, I mean, we got the same type of opportunity for the kind of season we're going to have. I mean, there's a lot of opportunities out there. There's, the sky's the limit possibly for this football team and the way they're playing. And, they got to understand what that opportunity is, but they also have to understand, in order to, take advantage of that opportunity down the road, we got to take care of business now. I mean, for the next 2 to 3 weeks, whatever we have, we got to go to work every day and get better, or we're going to lose the opportunity we have. And that's probably, it's a great message I'm going to have to give this football team, and they're going to have to, relay it to the rest of their teammates and make sure that happens, because, opportunities are one thing, but taking advantage of them is something else. And anytime you can do it on a national stage, like you just mentioned, in front of all those people, and what a great time slot and what a great opponent. And there's been a lot of positive things happen. I think not only for our football team, but our community, our school, and state of West Virginia because of it.
Doc, you've talked about him before, but Sheldon Evans continues to contribute on and off the field. He's been a team leader.
No question. He's one of the best captains I've ever had. I mean, and he's, the thing you don't notice about him is he played on every punt snap. He played on every kickoff return snap. He played on every punt block snap. People don't see him out there on the punt block team. They don't see him he had 2 tremendous kickoff returns. One of them called back that shouldn't have been. And then you see him on the punt team as well, doing a great job on that punt team and covering punts. And those are things that he does that aren't noticed, but what, his teammates notice that. Not only does he go in there and carry the ball, and he got the first down, a critical third down on that one pass where he danced down the sideline, and just so many things that he does well. And it's because he goes every day to practice and prepares, for that moment when it comes. And we call it competitive excellence. And when his number's called, he normally makes something really good happen.
You've
Doc,
been in a lot of locker rooms. I'm sorry.
Go ahead. No, go ahead, Jake. Go.
I was saying, Doc, you've been in a lot of locker rooms after some big wins, and yesterday I asked Alex Millett and Sheldon about your reaction after that win in the locker room, and they said it was going crazy. There was water everywhere. What do you remember about that post-game celebration on Saturday night? Well,
I remember that's what locker room is supposed to be like when you get a big win like that, and it's just a great. It's probably not probably. It's why we coach. It's why they play. It's all the above. I mean, to have that feeling in the locker room after you've accomplished something that's really hard to accomplish. You work your tail off to get that opportunity. You take advantage of it, as we said. And then when you get in there, you just have so much fun. And it's just great to see our players so happy, and coaches and everybody just so happy of the results. And they understand all that work they put into it has paid off, and they enjoyed themselves, which is what you're supposed to do.
Doc, with the Drayton play, is that like you file that video away and show kids from here on out, this is what effort is? This is why we tell you not to give up on a play, on a phenomenal play like that?
We talk all the time. And sometimes players don't understand why we do what we do, in practice. And, you guys have been to practice, and you probably saw that defense a couple of days a week. Coach Lambert and that defensive staff will we'll do a turnover circuit, where you actually work on punching that ball out like Drayton punched it out. I mean, that's something that we practice in practice. And it's like I told him, I don't know how many of you guys saw the Cowboys and the Falcons game with the onside kick. I mean, we work our tail off that if that ball, you step across that line and you're protected and you cover that ball before it gets 10 yards, all right, because you're protected to do that. Well, those are just little things that make big time differences in games like that. When you're playing a game against a team like App State, there's going to be one or two plays in that game that make a difference in winning or losing that game, and that's one of them. And it's just great to see when something like that happens as a coach. Man, you can take that teaching moment and you can reinforce it with the rest of the team. And those drills and all those things you do in practice, sometimes kids say, "What the hell are we doing this for?" They become a little bit more important because they can see the results of that. The best thing for a coach is to turn that tape on Sundays and watch it with the players and watch it with the staff and actually see what you're coaching on that tape. That means they're getting what you're coaching and they're doing what we ask them to do. And there was no question. That was probably the biggest play in the game, without doubt. And that's just effort, and you just never give up. You never give up on play. I mean, how many times have you seen kids that don't even get touched that go into the end zone and drop the ball before they cross the goal line? That's happened multiple times where nobody even touched them. They make a dumb, stupid mistake and just happen to be there to recover that ball or whatever. So they're teachable moments that the whole team can learn from, and we can become a better team because of it.
Hey, Doc, you were mentioning Grant Wells a little earlier and about how, he was faced with a little adversity and came through. I mean, this is a redshirt freshman being your starting quarterback, but this is a team that has had plenty of experience with freshmen starting a quarterback. How much has your past experience with having young quarterbacks under center helped you in coaching this young quarterback under center, because you have that prior experience?
Well, there's no question. I mean, we won 10 with Cato. We had him as a freshman. Of course, Chase Litt, we won 10 games the year he was a freshman. I think we won 8 the first year Isaiah was a freshman, and of course Grant being a freshman this year. I think the biggest difference in Grant right now is who he's surrounded with. I mean, we've surrounded him with an offensive line that's played who knows how many starts. Those guys are all guys that have been 3 and 4 year starters, and so the comfort zone he has with that offensive line is tremendous, and he feels great. He knows that offensive line is going to protect him and take care of him. And then you throw a Knox in there, who's MVP of the league at running back, and you've got that part. You got Shell being the great leader he is, and you've got guys at tight end that played an awful lot of football. The receivers are young, but they're starting to grow up. They've played a year in the system. So I think you've surrounded, Grant with players that he has got confidence in. They have confidence in him, and I think it helps him. If something like that, like he threw that interception, early on in that game, when you come to the sideline, you've got that offensive line's going to go over and grab him and say, "Hey, we're fine. Don't worry about it." I think that's the biggest difference in this year than what the freshmen have had in the past, is he's surrounded by a lot of guys that played a lot of football and providing him with great leadership.
Doc, are you impressed on how easily everyone's taken to him? I mean, is it just, they want to go out there and perform for him? He seems to really have taken leadership easily.
Well, I think number one, I think players respect players that go to work every day. Players, it's not hard to see that Grant Wells goes to work every day and works to get better at whatever he does, whether it's a weight room, whether it's a meeting room, whether it's on the field, whatever it is. He's going out there every day and becoming better as a player. And they see that. They see his work ethic. They respect that. And I don't think there's any question they've got great respect for him because of the way he goes about his business.